Before we start, this is a work of fiction and alternate history and is not to be taken too seriously. Making this video was like a dream come true. The lore on the Wonder Liberals. The Wonder Liberals was established in 1912 by Premier of Queensland Digby Denham in the German Empire. Although some of the organization was composed of Dutch and Germans, the majority were obviously Australian. Reason for them being called that was because Digby's party was called the Liberal Party, though the Wonder part is unknown. The first leader of the group that was put in was Oliver Jackman. He reigned from 1912 to 1934 and like the group served in Germany but worked under the command of the Premier of Queensland. In 1923, he attempted a coup in response to the abolishment of the death penalty in Queensland 1 year ago. But like the PSJ, it failed miserably when the Australians in New Zealand crushed Jackman's uprising. At least they weren't banned in the case of Ant Starmov. Jackman then fled to New South Wales but was caught and arrested. He escaped prison and stole a car but died on June 22, 1934 after colliding into another car at high speed. Andrew Cooper was then chosen by the Premier to succeed Oliver and decided to stay in Australia, while the rest of the Wonder Liberals served in Germany as an occupation force. Andrew Cooper was quite the drinker and often got drunk in his free time with friends, but was fairly liked by his colleagues. He supported the Republicans in the Spanish Civil War with a legion of soldiers and participated in the Athetuna campaign for 4 days. Sensing defeat in the war, he returned to Queensland in 1936 and died in 1937 of prostate cancer. After he died, a new leader, Lewis Lawson, was chosen, who ruled from 1937 to 1960. He supported the Allied powers in the Second World War and personally fought the Romanians in Ukraine, though the Wonder Liberals fought in Korea from 1950 to 1953. He fought in the Manhattan Rebellion in Thailand. His life would ultimately end in 1960 after a gas attack by Gary Hoffman in Bolivia, which was dubbed the Darwin Revolution by supporters of the Valedians. With him perished 200 of his troops. The Wonder Liberals supported the Soviets and Americans in the War of the Unions under the rule of Christopher Mason in those 3 years of chaos. Mason was vital in assisting the Beatles in leaking Valedian intelligence to the MI6. 42 years later, after the war, Mason visited Russia but died of illness from H5N1, a subtype of influenza. Before Mason died, he sent a message to David Hurley that his position as leader is now recognized as official. Hurley was selected in 2004 after he led a breakaway from Australia's rule. Technically, he was elected in 2004 but was officialized in 2005. In 2021, he alongside Francis planned the Landbrecher but got it foiled and the nuke was destroyed and David Hurley imprisoned by the German government. He was released in 2042 and continued his rule, but was left for dead when the Orga team destroyed their base in Lower Saxony. However, the Neptunians who came there 12 years ago found his body and brought him to their planet, arriving in 2054, and was put under the care of King Hendrik I's father, Dietrich II. That same year, after assuming that Hurley perished, William Wagner, David's childhood friend, took a position and became leader. He took advantage of the situation of being teleported to the alternate future of the world but it's your ideas universe to forcefully make a Brazilian scientist convince Tangata to help him repair the machine to get access to a crystal in the Mushroom Kingdom. They got this information from Swagmaster. After Alexei Yegorov handed over the crystal to William, he commanded it to revive Hurley, which unsurprisingly worked. Hurley retook position as leader and recruited his nephew Anton Garnier into the group. Sometime in March of that year, he traveled to the Quen timeline to assist the Flim in fighting Mod. This was in a war called the Verdraven War. His service in the Verdraven War has made him change character and be more sympathetic to the Bond Legion. This disappointed William, who betrayed him and threw him off their ship, and Anton for no reason. Luckily, he was rescued by a Bond Legion patrol boat. William later revived Francis through a Neptunian ritual with the use of Willem's ashes alongside the previous Wonder Liberals leaders. Francis, being old and dead for 137 years, is confused on what's going on, so he gets orientated about the current era he's being brought into. In 2180, he takes William's position after the latter stepped down to be able to participate in combat action more. William met his unfortunate demise in the Battle of the North Pole when he tried taking down the PKS-93 but had to battle Willem's cousin Hendrik Adler. He was overpowered due to his age but caught him off guard. He was then caught off guard by David Hurley as well, who then pushed him to the edge of the ship, got abandoned by his plane, and dropped from 5,000 feet onto the hard ice. With him gone, David Hurley and Anton Garnier decide to still remain with the Bond Legion until they can find the perfect opportunity to retake his position. Little does he know that Francis has taken his throne 99 days ago.